Lecture 1, Terminology. What is a disease? A condition marked by an established biological cause, a group of symptoms, an interruption. What is an infectious disease? Infection or disease caused by living organisms. What is a contagious disease?
You said you were going to talk quiet.
Transmitted easily from one animal to another. Are infection and disease synonymous? All contagious diseases are infectious, but not the other way around. What is a syndrome? Group of clinical symptoms that collectively characterize an abnormal condition without an identifiable cause. How does a syndrome differ from a disease? No etiology. Treatment is symptomatic. What is the definition of etiology? The study of what causes a disease. What is the difference between direct and indirect factors that cause disease? Direct are determining factors, indirect are predisposing factors. What is an etiological agent? Direct factors. Please list 5 direct factors that can cause disease. Bacteria, viruses, fungi, toxins, parasites. Please list 5 predisposing indirect factors that can cause disease. Immunity, age, environment, climate, management. When referring to disease, what is meant by the term transmission? The conveyance of disease-causing organisms. Why is knowing how a disease is transmitted critical for a producer/owner? To prevent and control. Please list 3 to 4 types of disease transmission. Direct contact, indirect contact, aerosol, or fecal/oral. What are the 5 ways an infectious disease can easily be introduced and or spread within groups of animals? New animal, existing herd animal, contaminated objects, contaminated resources, vectors. What is a pathogen? Microorganism that can cause disease in a plant, animal, or insect. What is meant by the term pathogenicity? The ability of an organism to cause disease in a host organism. Is an infectious agent's ability to cause disease a fixed characteristic? Please explain and be sure to include host factors and pathogen factors in your response. No, it's dependent on how many hosts, stress, age, nutrition, environment, and pathogenic factors, genetics, species, virulence factors. What is virulence? It is the degree of pathology caused by an organism. What affects an organism's virulence? Again, please include host and pathogen factors in your answer. Host: hygiene, immunity, genetics. Agent: proteins, enzymes, capsules, toxins. 2 basic types of immunity are innate and acquired. Please define the 2 and explain the difference between the types. Innate: inherited first line of defense, and acquired: adaptive antigen specific for resistance. Please provide 4 examples of innate immunity. Mechanical, anatomical barriers, chemical or biological agents, secretory molecules, cellular components. What are the 2 types of acquired immunity? Active and passive. Please give an example of each. Active are from infection, disease, being vaccinated. Passive are from receiving antiserum or colostrum. What is the definition of a clinical sign? Symptoms that indicate a disease process. Please list 8 examples of clinical signs. Fever, weight loss, lameness, snotty nose, lesions, rash, bloat, abscess. How can clinical signs be characterized? Acute, chronic, progressive, waxing and waning, or recurring. What does it mean if a clinical sign is considered pathognomonic for a disease? Characteristic of a certain disease. Is a clinical sign an indication for treatment? No. It is indication for assessment and management. What is a lesion? A pathological change in an organ or tissue due to injury or disease. Please give 2 examples of a lesion. Abscess or rash. What is the pathogenesis of a disease? The origination of and step-by-step process of a disease developing. What is epidemiology? The study of factors or elements that enhance the frequency and distribution of a disease in an environment, community, or population. What is epizooology? Veterinary epidemiology. What is the difference between morbidity and mortality? Morbidity is a disease state, and mortality is death. What does it mean if we talk about morbidity or mortality rate when referring to a disease? The rate of occurrence of a disease or death. What is meant by the phrase disease prevention? Measures that arrest the threat of diseases before they can or do not occur. What is disease control? Actions that prevent the spread of diseases after an onset or outbreak. What are we referring to when we discuss the prognosis of an animal suffering from a disease? The probable course and outcome of disease. What is a zoonotic disease? A disease transmissible between animals and humans. Please give 2 examples of zoonotic diseases. Anthrax and brucellosis.